LifeLock, how can I help?
The IRS said I filed my return,
But I haven't.
1 in 4 tax-paying Americans has paid the price of identity fraud.
What do I do?
My refund, though.
I'm freaking out.
Don't worry, I can fix this.
LifeLock fixes identity theft guaranteed and gets your money back with up to $3 million in coverage.
I'm so relieved.
No problem. I'll be with you every step of the way.
1 in 4 was a fraud-paying American. Not anymore. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
Listen, all you New Yorkers. Yippee! Taxi!
Okay, we're looking around.
This is the 77 WABC minicast.
Well, let me get to Victoria Coates. I got a bunch of guests still to come our way. Victoria does an amazing job as the VP of the Heritage Foundation. And like I said earlier, she kind of splits her time now between me and Maria Bartiromo on Sunday Morning Futures on Fox News, which ain't too bad. Victoria, good morning. How are you?
Greetings from beautiful Palm Beach. I am terrific.
Is that where you are now?
That is where I am right now, looking at the ocean.
So jealous. What's the temperature?
There's no snow here.
Yeah. What's the temperature there?
It's about 75 degrees.
Oh my God, Victoria,
That's
stop
terrible,
it.
Terrible.
Terrible. Well, we're gonna be in the 40s starting tomorrow, from tomorrow through next Wednesday. So hopefully, a lot of this ice and snow that Mamdani's done nothing with, this horrible mayor, hopefully it'll start to melt. But yes, I would take Palm Beach, Miami, any time right now over what's been a brutal winter here in New York City. But let me take it to Washington, D.C. It's not 75 there, but it was hot yesterday because Bibi Netanyahu and President Trump met at the White House. What did you come away with, Victoria, from that meeting between those two great men?
Yeah, what I came away from it with was just the incredible coordination we're seeing between Israel and the United States, and all the naysayers about the U.S.-Israel relationship need to take a cold, dispassionate look at this. This was the Prime Minister's 8th or 7th visit to the United States, their 8th meeting overall, because the president went to Israel as well. And they are coordinating on everything. And we have this unprecedented also cooperation between Israel and the United States in terms of our militaries. Our intelligence sharing is just growing. And the critical thing here, Sid, is this keeps the American people safe. This is a practical matter for President Trump. He's not doing this out of some sense of loyalty to Israel that everyone's talking about. He's doing it out of loyalty to the American people and to keeping us safe, to maximizing this relationship, to maximizing the investment we have made as a country in Israel. This is just a good thing for all of us. And I think, obviously, everyone wants to get to a diplomatic solution on Iran. Unfortunately, the Iranian regime also gets a vote in that. But if it doesn't work out, if the talks don't pan out, and I personally don't think they will.
Right, they won't.
But, yeah, they won't.
Yeah.
But we can try.
No,
and if they don't, we're in a really good position to do something strong.
Yeah, it needs to happen. Again, I had this discussion with Mike Huckabee on the show a couple of days ago. I commend Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner and the president for being patient and trying to work it out. But these people don't care. They just don't care. They lied for years. Even when Obama and Kerry made that ridiculous deal, they lied to them. They were still trying to enrich their uranium. This has been going on for the better part of 50 years. Enough is enough. So I love diplomacy. I know Trump is the peaceful president, but we got to hit him again. That's the bottom line. And look, it is about America first because Iran wants us more than anybody, even more than Israel. But the reason why Bibi was there yesterday was for Israel. And I guess he spoke specifically about the fear of their ballistic missiles. They got about 2,000 pointed at Tel Aviv this morning. And the fact that Iran continues to fund these proxy groups, Hezbollah, Hamas, groups that wake up every day looking to kill Jews. That was basically Bibi's motive to be there yesterday, yes?
Oh, I think so. And I mean, that's been the president's parameters for a deal. It's very simple. No nukes, no support for terrorist proxies, and reduce the missiles down to the point where they don't represent an existential threat to Israel because they can overwhelm their missile defense systems. And so that's not hard. And the president said that repeatedly. The only way this happens is if the regime thinks they're actually on the verge of collapse. And they don't seem to think that yet. So I would continue with the economic pressure, keep building up the military assets in the region, and if you have to, hit them. And then that is going to have the intended effect of making the regime look weak to the Iranian people. So the Iranian people can then say, yeah, they're not 100 feet high. They're not inevitable. We can take action on our own and then hopefully get to a better place.
Yeah, that's a tough one, too. It sounds so wonderful, but they tried it, and about 40,000 of them were gunned down in the streets. I said the same thing to Mike Huckabee. It's great. The Iranian people, they're going to take it over, and it should be them, right? We keep saying it shouldn't be America, it should be the people, but they're not armed, and the people in charge, they have no problem killing innocent people in the street. So while it sounds lovely on a realistic level, the Iranian people can't do it. They can't do it.
No, I mean, and as my colleague Rob Greenway always says, count the guns. Who has them?
Right,
Where
exactly.
are they? And that's why if the president does decide to do a specific action against the leadership of the Iranian regime, that could have the effect of empowering the people.
Yeah, it could. It's interesting because I made this point earlier. Obama, it was terrible. I got to tell you. And he was.
How quickly we forget.
I never forgot. I couldn't stand him from day one. I remember even after that awful day in Paris when ISIS killed people inside the soccer stadium, inside the amphitheater at those outdoor cafes. And he came on TV that night and he was basically asking Americans to be patient with their Muslim neighbors. I mean, that's all he cared about, this guy. But he also was very good about tipping off the bad guy. He would tell you exactly what he's going to do. See, Trump doesn't do that. So when Trump goes, listen, let me take my time. Let's try to figure this thing out. That doesn't mean that today, for example, he's not going to hammer him. He does a very good job, like a great poker player, of not showing his hand. Great evidence, midnight hammer.
Oh, absolutely. And that's the thing is everyone seems to forget that he has acted decisively twice. He has taken military action many more times than that in this first year of his second term against Nigeria, for example. And then we had the operation in Venezuela. So he will act, but just he does it on his own timetable. And when he thinks he has a decisive advantage, because he's not going to do something, he doesn't use the United States military as a messaging device. I mean, if he's going to deploy the military, he's going to do it for a specific reason in pursuit of a particular goal. And so I think that's what they're doing right now. They're getting completely ready. They're checking all the boxes. They're seeing if there are other options. And if not, though, they're going to be completely ready to take the kind of decisive action he favors.
More than ready. He talked about the Armada with me weeks ago. He's talked about it a million times since. I believe in the last couple of days, they've added more battleships to that Armada. Isn't that correct?
They have, and potentially will add another aircraft carrier group. I believe it's the George H.W. Bush. So that's just overwhelming force. There's nothing the Iranians can do, and they know it.
Nobody can do it. I mean, nobody, except for maybe China. I don't know.
No, they can't either.
No, I know that. I laugh. I get Gordon Shangon. I love Gordon.
Gordon's the best.
He's the best. And every day we're all going to die. And I say, listen, I don't care if you're Russia, China. I don't care who you are, okay? We have the best military in the world. We've got the best equipment. We've got the best fighters. And I'm willing to take my chances against anybody. Now, of course, I wouldn't want to battle China because that could be very ugly on both sides, much like we're seeing with Russia and Ukraine. Here, Ukraine is doing a tremendous job of fighting. They're outnumbered by a ton. And as I said all along, they're not going to win. They're not winning. They're not going to win attrition alone. Russia just has too much for Ukraine to win this in the end. But they're certainly taking a lot out of this Russian army and Putin along the way. And that does beg this question. When is that thing going to be over?
Yeah, this is really interesting. The other piece here, Sid, is Poland, one country in the EU, a middle country in the EU, just surpassed Russia in terms of their export economy. I mean, Poland alone. So this isn't the whole EU. So the whole EU economy is about a little bit less than 20 trillion GDP. And Russia is too. The EU should be able to take care of this on their own. And they are continuing to buy more Russian oil and gas this year than they ever have before. It's just mind-boggling. and they continue to want to do business with Russia going forward. This situation should be resolvable, but we need Europe to focus on it because we have to deal with China, as you just said. We have to deal with the Middle East. We have to deal with Latin America. Will we support Europe? Absolutely. There are great and good partners, theoretically, but they have to take care of this mess in their own backyard. So, hopefully Russia is going to continue to at least start to do some reasonable things like agree to talks, to stop bombing their energy infrastructure during a cold winter.
Jeez.
I mean, these are not unreasonable demands on our part,
Wow.
and then we can hopefully get to a resolution. But this has to be Europe's mess.